Hi, my name is Griffin. My team is named Griffin. And last weekend we walked in the seam cycle for CHEO. Together my team raised $108,181.66.
My name is Emily Jameson. I'm Vice President Corporate Philanthropy and Community Engagement at CHEO Foundation, and it is an absolute honor to be nominating the Bell family for the AFP Award for Outstanding Individual Philanthropist. I remember the first time I met Griffin, it was actually at a Hockey Fights Cancer Night, and I remember thinking how brave this young boy was and how he was taking his battle with cancer and turning that into hope for so many other people. And that's essentially what the Bell family does. They take grief and they turn it into hope for those fighting cancer. Tammy, Evan, and Abby, thank you so much for continuing to inspire so many people in our community. Your courage and advocacy have inspired so many, and the spirit of Griff is living on because of all the work you've done. On behalf of CHEO Foundation, kids and families in our community, thank you so much for all you do, and this is just a small token of our appreciation for everything you've done.
I'm Tammy Bell.
I'm Evan Bell.
And we are the proud parents of Abby and Griffin. Together over the last 5 years, we've navigated the unimaginable. In 2018, our son was diagnosed with a form of childhood cancer called neuroblastoma. In that moment, there's only so much that you can do to help your child. We can't cure him, we can only rely on medicine. And we can support him through treatment. But what we could do was start to give back to a foundation and researchers to help other families and other children like Griffin. Not being able to help your child is an extremely helpless feeling. And so by rallying others together, by sharing his story, we encouraged others to have conversations about childhood cancer. Which is truly something that nobody really wants to talk about. And we were extremely blessed to be supported by an incredible community who not only swept him up in their arms, but us too and our entire family. When we started doing what we're doing and raising money and advocating for childhood cancer, it was with no purpose other than to maybe make a difference in another child's life, but never did we think that we would be standing here receiving an award.
But when you think of events, you think of that CN cycle, hundreds of thousands of dollars raised in, over a period of 2 or 3 months, but for one day, right? Mm. And that's what days like that and events like that are truly. They're the fire. They're what keep us going. They're what keep us wanting to do more because we see the results. We see the results on that day, and it's not about us being celebrated. It's about the work being celebrated.
I started sharing our story because it allowed me to share with our family who was out of town how well he was doing. He carried himself incredibly. He was at CHEO for chemo on Friday. He was at the hockey rink at 8 a.m. on Saturday, completely unfazed. He had a smile on his face day to day in the hospital, outside of the hospital. And when he passed, I think because we had shared so much of him with the community, I think the community really felt the loss of him as well, and kind of cared for him as their own. As long as I'm doing this, he gets to stay alive. All I knew for these last 6 years was trying to keep him alive and doing whatever I can to keep him here with us. A cancer diagnosis doesn't have to be tragic. You can live on the good days and you can, rest on the bad ones. But I think we just want the world to know that,
Not alone.
They're not alone, and he's not the face of cancer because he was a lot more than that. Just because cancer took his life, it doesn't define him. So we created sort of what we want to call the golden movement. We took a spin on the color of the childhood cancer ribbon, and instead of putting it on our shirts that we would wear to treatment, this was our This is our Ottawa Senators jerseys. You know, we would wear this into treatment to support him and show our support for all of the other children affected by cancer.
Thank you for everybody for coming.